everybody. Welcome to Going Mad. I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Kaylee.
And this is episode 14. And it's the 14th. And I don't know, I feel some kind of connection there. And it's Valentine's Day.
It is.
While we're recording, you're not going to hear this. Yeah, you're not going to hear it on Valentine's Day. But it's Valentine's Day in this time. Not in the future time where you're hearing this. Anyways. You can hit us up, guys. Let us know what you want to hear. Do you got any stories you want to tell us? Email us at goingmadpod@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. And you can just listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts because we're there. I bet you.
We are there.
And today, I am talking about the Alfred Rosenheim mansion. This is in Los Angeles, California. And Kaylee is going to scare me to death talking about the Annabelle doll.
Yes, I am.
So let's get right into it and try not to scare me too bad.
Okay. Yay, I'm excited. So I originally had seen this story. I didn't know that the movie was based off of a real doll. I had no idea. Mm-hmm. And because I don't watch the scary movies. Like, I've never seen any of the Conjuring movies, any of the Annabelle movies. I've never seen them. I just, not my style.
They're pretty scary.
Yeah, and I just don't do it. So when I had seen this on the BuzzFeed Unsolved, which is like my favorite freaking show. I swear to God, it's too good. So it is. So I saw it on there and I'm like, oh my God, this is real. Like, this is actually a thing. This is crazy to me. So, so I wanted to cover it. So. Yeah,
and the funny thing though, that the doll that they use in the movies is way scarier than what the doll actually looks like.
Yeah, the doll that they use, like, in the movies is like a porcelain, creepy-ass doll, whereas the real doll is just like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah.
So. They hyped it up a little bit.
A little bit.
They made it just a little bit worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So, like I said previously, Annabelle the doll is known for, being a part of the Conjuring cinematic universe. In the 50s, so I'm going to give a little bit of a background. So in the 50s, Ed and Lorraine Warren started NESPR, which is short for New England Society of Psychic Research, or for Psychic Research, which is actually the oldest ghost hunting group in New England. Fun fact. They wrote many books about their investigations, and they have claimed to have investigated over 10,000 cases in their career. So they are really well known for being one of the first groups to investigate the Amityville haunting, which, another movie that creeps me the hell out. I actually have seen that one.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
Yeah, I've seen the Amityville Horror, which is also, I want to cover that on another episode. Future topic, I think. So anywho, they were one of the first groups to investigate Amityville, and they're also known for, The Haunting in Connecticut, that movie?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They investigated that too. Mm-hmm. So they're well known for these, like, really popular...
Scary.
Scary cases. So let's get in with Annabelle. In the 70s, a student was given a Raggedy Ann doll by her mother as a present. Donna, who is the student, she kept the doll on her bed in her room that she shared with another person named Angie. Pretty much, basically, as soon as she got the doll, Angie and Donna started noticing that the doll would be kind of just in weird positions that the doll had not previously been left in. And they even sometimes found the doll in a different room. So, cool. Donna once stated that she had left the doll on her couch, and when she returned, the doll was in her room behind a closed door. So, yeah, spooky shit.
Thanks.
Yep. So, she had a friend that was known to say that he just kind of had a really weird feeling about the doll, and that the doll should go bye-bye. Like, get rid of this freaking thing. It's scary as shit. But if she had gotten rid of the doll, we wouldn't have the story we have today. So, you know. I guess it's, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. So, obviously, like I said, they didn't get rid of the doll after he had said to get rid of it. And they started finding pieces of paper with words like help us and help Lou on them. And Lou is the friend that said, hey, get rid of the doll. So,
okay.
Yep. And it was like on pieces of paper that they didn't have within their home. Like it was parchment paper that they didn't have.
Ooh.
So that adds another level of weirdness to it.
Yeah.
So some time goes by, and one day they noticed that the doll had blood on it, or at least something that looked like blood, like just a red substance. And that's when they decided, we're going to contact a medium. Like, we need to figure this shit out. So they conducted a seance and found out that there was a little girl, in quotes, and you'll understand why I say that later, living in the doll, and her name was Annabelle. The story goes that the body of this girl, Annabelle, was found where the apartment of Donna and Angie was built. So, kind of like, you know, just a lingering spirit. So, the medium also said that Angie and Donna made the girl feel loved, and so she wanted to stay.
Okay.
Creepy. Little creepy. So Donna apparently felt really bad for that. Like she felt like, well, why would I try and get rid of this thing if it feels so loved around me? Which, okay. And so she gave permission for the entity to live inside of the doll. Because, you know, that was always a good idea. Just throwing that out there. So like I said, remember Lou, who he was mentioned in the notes? He's the one that said, hey, get rid of this thing. He didn't believe the medium and was like, nah, bitch, hell no, this thing's evil.
Yeah.
It's an evil thing. It's evil. So there was one night that Lou was sleeping, and I'm guessing, I couldn't find any sort of detail specifically. I believe it had to have been him staying at their place on the couch or something. But he was sleeping, and the doll, he kind of was woken from this dream and then kind of had this feeling of like a tingling paralysis. And then suddenly he felt the doll climbing up his body.
No.
Yep. Yeah. Felt that the doll was climbing up his body to choke him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And
Ooh, I can
Lou,
picture that. Ooh.
Yeah. Yep. So he ended up actually passing out and swore that it was not a dream. Like, he swore up and down that this actually happened. And, yeah. So the following day, and this is why I think he was just sleeping on their couch, because the following day, Lou and Angie were actually getting ready for a road trip, and they heard, like, kind of like a wrestling noise, like, you know, just something moving in Donna's room. And there was absolutely no evidence of anyone being in the room, but Annabelle was on the floor. So, fun. Lou had gone over to investigate, and suddenly he kind of curled over in pain, and his shirt started getting soaked in blood.
Ah.
Yeah, he lifted his shirt and saw that there were claw marks all over his chest. They saw, like, they say that it was like the marks of the beast. And that the claw marks healed immediately and were gone within 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah. After this, Donna was like, enough is enough. I'm going to contact a priest, and I'm going to get an exorcism, and I'm also going to have some sort of investigation done. And this is where the Warrens come in. So the Warrens that I had talked about previously. They didn't believe that the doll was possessed, but that there was a demon manipulating it and using the doll to search for a human host.
Okay.
Yeah. According to the Warrens, the demon was basically, like, almost done its infestation, which would have probably resulted in the death of Donna, Angie, and or Lou. I have chills talking about this right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm getting that uneasy feeling. So the Warrens asked, let's do the exorcism, let's get it done on the apartment, and then Donna had asked the Warrens to take the doll with them. But this doll was not ready to leave. Hell no.
Oh, no.
On the car ride home, the Warrens claimed that their car would just kind of swerve and that their brakes would not work. Ed stated that he had to put some holy water on the doll to continue the drive home. The Warrens said that the haunting continued at their house and that the doll was known to move from room to room and even levitating from a chair that was like right next to the desk of Ed. There was a father that came to check the doll out while at the Warrens, and while he was there, he picked up the doll and told it that it was just a doll. So kind of antagonizing it a little bit.
Okay.
And so Lorraine had told the father, hey, be careful on your drive home, and to say, call when you get home. So a few hours went by and they hadn't heard anything yet from the father, and a few hours later the father did call the Warrens to tell them that his brakes had gone out during an intersection and that his car was totaled.
Dang.
Yeah, so allegedly the doll is very well known for causing car accidents, which is great. So the Warrens kind of later on in their career opened this museum of just kind of haunted items. And it's really creepy. I don't know, you should look it up. I think it's called the Occult Museum. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's just it's a haunted, it's a museum. It's like their house. I think it's their actual house that they lived in that they turned into this museum. And it's freaking creepy. And so they ended up putting this glass case around Annabelle. And it's like wood, it's not all glass. There's wood and stuff. And the wood is supposedly soaked in holy water to kind of contain her spirit or whatever spirit is in the doll in that box. And someone had actually pinned a tarot card of the devil on there. Fun fact. So one patron of this museum was taunting the doll and banging on the case and said, just trying to antagonize the doll once again. And he ended up getting on his motorcycle with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend later said that they were driving home talking and laughing about the doll when the man had lost control of the bike and crashed into a tree.
Oh my goodness.
And dude died. He didn't make it.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So, like I said, the doll is currently at the home of the Warrens, which was turned into a museum for just haunted items and weird things. And you can visit it. From what I know, it's still, COVID, probably messed that up, but you were able to visit it. And it's in Connecticut.
Did you recently watch that BuzzFeed episode?
I did.
I can't remember. Did anything happen?
Did
they catch anything? Yeah.
So, okay, so if you haven't watched BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural, there's the two hosts, there's Ryan and Shane. Shane does not believe in ghosts whatsoever. He is not a ghost believer. So he tries to, no matter where they go, antagonize ghosts to try and get some sort of something. And so he was doing that to Annabelle. And so what they did was they had, there's this thing that you do, and I've actually witnessed this being done, is flashlights. So it said that if you barely, if you screw the top of the flashlight off or wherever the battery is, just enough to where it's off, the ghost can then touch the flashlight and turn the light on or turn it off or whatever and play with it, And so they had two flashlights on the case, and Shane was talking to the doll and, like I said, antagonizing her, trying to get her to respond. And it would say, okay, turn this light on, and then the light would turn on. Okay, turn that light on, and then it would turn on. And,
I remember that now.
Yeah, and so I think, I love, like I said, I love this show, and I think Shane's great because he kind of tries to make it like, this is a joke. Obviously this is, in his mind, this is just a joke. This isn't real. So I'm going to try and have some fun with it. And So he always, every episode tries to do that. And so he was trying to kind of do that with this as well, where he was just trying to get some sort of reaction. He always has sarcastic comments and stuff. And then I think Ryan went in there, and Ryan, he's the one who, like, super believe in ghosts. Like, he always gets super creeped out during these episodes, and so he kind of had some action on the flashlights as well. And then I believe he had an EMF reader, and he actually got a spike on the EMF reader as well. And I also think he had a temperature reader, and the temperature went down when that spike happened. I believe. I can't 100% remember because it's been a little bit since I've seen it. But, yeah, the flashlights, that was the big thing, was the flashlights going off and kind of seeming to respond.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
We need to try that test. Ew, maybe not,
yes.
but yeah.
Maybe not.
I think that's
we could
a really
do it.
Good test.
We could do it at David's.
Yeah. We need those types of flashlights, though. Because it's not like a normal flashlight, right? It's a magnet.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. We'll look into it, though.
Yeah, we'll have to look into it and see what they use.
Yeah. You know, Annabelle reminds me of, what is that guy? The other doll. Robert the doll, maybe? Have you heard of that story?
No.
He is another really haunted doll. And the story behind it's really crazy. And he's in a glass case, too. And you have to, like, ask permission to him and not make fun of him and stuff. Like, if you want his picture taken, you have to ask permission or something like that.
Well, yeah,
it's
that's
a really
kind
crazy
of how...
story. Maybe I'll look into it.
Yeah, that's kind of how Annabelle is, too. Like, they have a sign on the case that's like, you know, don't tap on the glass or something like that. And, like, just don't, don't aggravate the doll. I'm looking up the case to see if I can find a picture of it.
Oh, of the case, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
I remember seeing it off the BuzzFeed.
Yeah, and clearly it's an old, it's an old case, and it's, I don't know when they put it in the museum. It had to have been a long time, because I think the Warrens, I think they've been dead for quite a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm
not sure when they died.
Yeah, I think they died quite a while ago. But there's a picture of it that says positively do not open.
Yeah.
That they put on there, so that's fun. And then on the top of it, it says something on the top of it, but I can't see. Yeah, so there's a picture of it, and it's like in this like wooden case with glass on all sides, and then there's a cross on the top of it, and then someone had put up a tarot card of the devil on there. And then at the bottom it says positively, or warning, positively do not open. It's kind of creepy. It's like kind of in this weird like altar thing.
Yeah.
It's like, so, yeah, so that's the story of Annabelle. Also, I do have this. I know, I probably will too. So I found out today that my friend Ashley, shout out to Ashley, her stepmom she had gone to a seminar or something of the Warrens. Oh. Like, she got to meet the Warrens. And so I told her to send me her story, to have her stepmom email us so that I can just kind of give, like, follow-up info on it. Because I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. For sure.
So, more to come on that.
Okay, cool. All right. You ready to hear about this mansion?
Yeah.
Okay. It is Alfred Rosenheim Mansion, built in 1902, a long time ago, in Los Angeles, California. This house has actually been used in many, many movies and TV series. It's actually the reason I know about it is because it's the main house in American Horror Story Season 1.
Oh, yes. Okay. This is making sense. Okay. Because at first I was like, I don't know what this is. But then I remember you telling me, it's the house from American Horror Story. It's the murder house, basically.
Right.
Yes. Gotcha.
So you know what it looks like then?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So I thought I would find a lot of stuff on this house, but I don't know if they're keeping it a big secret or what, but I did find some stuff, so I will get into it. So the Rosenheims actually only lived in the house for 11 years. He built it, but then again, he only lived for 11 years in the house. It had a few other owners after that, and then a convent of nuns lived there. 1994 is actually when an earthquake happened, causing damage to the house. So that caused the nuns to put it up for sale. 1999 is when the house actually became a historic and cultural landmark. In the late 2000s, a recording studio was built inside the house. The recording studio itself held up to 250 people. So this house is huge. I mean, I think it's one of the largest private estates in at least in LA.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. I mean, it's huge. I mean, the backyard, it looks like a forest, basically. And like I said, there was a recording studio in there that held up to 250 people. And actually, the current owners removed that recording studio. And they're actually not big believers of the paranormal. They actually didn't even know about American Horror Story when they bought this house. And when they did buy it, like, people would come all day long wanting to look at this house because it's so unique and everything. And they're like, they were fed up with it, basically. And they had to put a big fence, like a chain link fence around the house. So because people were trying to, like, get in the house and stuff.
Wow.
And, like, how scary is that, for one?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but they love the house now. But like I said, they're not big into the paranormal. But one of their friends was over and they were looking at the house. And he actually said that he thought he saw a butler, like a butler ghost, going up the stairs.
Interesting.
What's also but strange about the story is one of the previous owners' daughters came by the house to get some of the stuff that was left behind. And she actually told the owners that they used to see a butler ghost too.
Wow.
In the house.
Wow.
So that kind of, that was, and the owners now got in touch with one of the nuns that used to live there. And she told a story about a rocking chair. It just started rocking by itself. And then a nun apparition appeared in the chair.
Oh, no.
The nun recognized the ghost of the nun. He was actually passed away. So she actually recognized the ghost that was dead. And it was in the rocking chair.
Good God.
That's really creepy. The basement is actually really known to put an uneasy feeling to anyone who goes down there. And if you've seen American Horror Story, like, the basement is really creepy in that show.
Yeah. That's the only season of American Horror Story I've actually seen.
It's really creepy. And they actually filmed in that house. And
I didn't know that was the actual house.
Yeah, it was the actual house.
Shit.
They actually filmed there. Yeah.
That's okay, because that house is, like, gorgeous.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous.
The details are crazy,
oh my
too.
God. So, okay, I have a question. Do you know if any of the, like, stories they featured in American Horror Story actually happened at the house?
I don't think so. I try to find more stories about it, and the creators of the show actually picked that house just because the way it looked. They didn't really.
So they didn't really.
I think all that story's made up.
Well, and I know, like,
of the show,
because they go into the whole Black Dahlia thing in the show, and I'm like, that didn't happen there. I know that for certain.
Yeah.
And then there was, like,
the stuff.
I don't know, like, because the one story that I would find kind of interesting is there's the nurses that died there, the two nurses, and in the show. Okay,
so in the show, here, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
That stuff was based off real stuff. I did read something about that. Like, that kind of stuff was based off real things. But it wasn't based off of the house.
The house
itself.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was based off true stories. I read that they got inspiration from true stories of like murders and stuff like that, but not about the house itself.
Well, and I figured there was some sort of truth behind it. Like I said, like the Black Dahlia, you know, that actually happened. But I know, like I said, I know for certain that it did not happen at that house.
Right.
Although it's still unsolved, but guys, I know who did it. I'm pretty certain about who did it.
Was it one of the doctors or something?
George Hodel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there's a whole podcast on it. You got to listen to it. It's great.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So anyways.
Anywho.
So the current owner, who does not believe, like I said, actually saw a mist in the basement of some sorts.
Ooh, like a boogie
and the
mist.
Yeah, and he said the mist actually touched his back and then kind of just disappeared, which is kind of strange.
I just got so many chills.
Oh, really?
Yes, that creeps me out.
Yeah, I mean, basements are scary anyways, but this is where it happened, in the basement. And actually, multiple people said that they've been touched in the basement. The wife will not go down there. She will not go down to the basement. She says that it just has like a really dark feeling. And so, I mean, I get that.
That's how I feel about my uncle's house.
Yeah. The original intercom is still in the house, which kind of looks like an old telephone on the wall. Like you pick it up to talk through the intercom. And someone was just like going around the house and looking at it, and they picked it up and they heard a voice come through the intercom say hello.
I just chose the wrong time to sip on my wine. Holy shit.
Yeah. And
no.
She said hello back.
No. No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then, and of course she found out they weren't working, and she's like, oh, but I heard somebody say hello.
Nah, bitch, I heard someone.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, like I said, the current owners, they actually did kind of like a Halloween special this last Halloween in 2020. They did like live streams and stuff. You had to pay to watch those, though. They might not do it again, they said, just because it's a lot of work and everything. And
what did they do a live stream of?
Like, they invited some people over. They did a seance in the basement. I wasn't able to watch that, but yeah. And they just did, like, live stream of the house and, like, different rooms to see if anything would happen.
Like, they investigated it, basically?
Yeah, they invited people to investigate it. They probably said they won't do that again. They just love the historic of the home, not the, paranormal of the home.
Right.
So, yeah. And it was hard to find more stories about the haunting and stuff that's going on in this house. But if you just look up the pictures of this house, you just get a feeling of,
it's kind of like a gothic, it's dark woods all over stained glass. It's a gorgeous house, but it just is a very dark house.
Vibe.
Yeah.
So Google Rosenheim Mansion in LA. Look at the pictures and you'll see what we're talking about. It's definitely different, for sure.
It's cray-cray.
Mm-hmm. That's what I got.
All right. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's what we got for you guys. So let us know if you have any stories that you want us to cover. You can email us at goingmadpod@gmail.com. Send us a Facebook message. By the way, we've gotten a buttload of new followers on Facebook, and I'm so excited.
Everyone.
Yes, so hello to all of you new followers. I'm really stoked for it. You can message us on Instagram. You could, like I said, send us an email. I think you could, comment on YouTube. If you have something, that you want us to cover, comment on YouTube. We're very reachable. That's all we got. So we'll see you next time.